In this video, we will learn about the stability conditions of Marshallian and Walrasian equilibrium. Okay, so let's first talk about equilibrium. What is meant by equilibrium? So equilibrium is just where supply and demand meet. Okay, so if I have this very graph, we have demand and this is supply. So we say at this point where the demand and supply meet, it is a point of equilibrium. Okay, if we have quantity on the horizontal axis, price on the vertical axis. Simple thing, equilibrium is nothing, it is a point where supply and demand meet. Whether this point is stable or unstable, we need to see. Okay, by stable or unstable, what we mean? So let me take a simple example. We say stable equilibrium occurs when after a disturbance, the system tends to return to its original equilibrium. That is to say, it is a self-correcting process. How do I explain the stable equilibrium? Let me take a bowl. Okay, let us say this is a bowl and on this bowl we have this ball. Okay, so let us say it is at equilibrium at the resting place. Let us say due to some disturbance this ball reaches here. Okay, here you can see it will move towards the initial position again because of the curvature of this bowl. Okay, so when there is disturbance to this ball in the bowl, it will again move towards the initial point. So we say it is the stable equilibrium. On the contrary, if we have the upside down bowl and we have this ball at this position, okay, at this point it is at equilibrium. When there is a disturbance, this ball will go either to this direction or to this direction. Okay, so when there is a disturbance, we will not be able to reach back to the initial position. So in this case it is unstable, and here it is stable. Okay, simple thing. So we say unstable equilibrium occurs when a small disturbance causes the system to move further away from its original position. Okay, it is self-reinforcing. So we can say ball on the top of upside down bowl. Simple thing. Now we need to know what is meant by the Walrasian equilibrium and Marshallian equilibrium. So Walrasian or Walrus defines equilibrium as the price which equates quantity demanded with quantity supplied. Okay, so in case of Walrasian we have the price adjustments, and I will be explaining these things here. But in case of Marshall defines equilibrium as the quantity which equates the demand price with the supply price. Okay, so in case of Walrasian, it works through the price adjustments, but in case of Marshall we have the quantity adjustments. We have these 12 cases. We need to check their stability according to the Marshall and Walrasian. Okay, so as we know, in case of Marshallian, what happens? In case of Walrasian, there is price adjustment. Okay, it works through, or we can say price is the deciding factor of equilibrium, whether we have the stable one or not. But in case of Marshall, we have quantity as the deciding factor of the equilibrium. Let's take the first condition. Let's take the first case of normal condition when both demand and supply functions are normal shaped. That is, we have normal shaped demand curve which is downwards and supply curve which is upwards. Let's take the Walrasian case first. As we know that in case of Walrasian equilibrium, we do the price adjustments. Okay, price is the deciding factor of the equilibrium. So let us say initially we have P naught and Q naught. We are at this point. This is the initial equilibrium. Let us say by some reason price increases to P1. So at P1 you can see at OP1 what happens? Demand is less, supply is more. So we have excess supply. When we have excess supply, what will happen? Firms will cut down the price because their inventory will increase. So price will decrease and we will be reaching back to the initial position. So we can say Walrasian equilibrium is stable when we have normal shaped demand and supply curve. What about the Marshall? So as we know, in case of the Marshallian, we do the quantity adjustments in seeing whether we have the equilibrium or not. So let us say by some reason we are at this point OQ1. At OQ1, here you can see supply price is greater than demand price, or demand price is less than supply price. So when demand price is less than supply price, what happens, firms will cut down their production, so we quantity supplied will decrease. In this case we will be moving back towards the initial position, that is, this is Marshallian stable equilibrium. Now let's take another cases when demand and supply curve both are upwards. Okay, there are two cases in fact, when supply curve is steeper than the demand curve and when supply curve is flatter than the demand curve. Let's take the case of when supply curve is steeper than the demand curve. What happens in case of wall ration? Okay, again we have P naught Q naught as the initial equilibrium point. Let us say by some disturbance we are at OP1, price increases to P1 or OP1. So at OP1, here you can see, since it is a more valuation thing, we do the price adjustments. So at P1, OP1, supply is less than demand. Okay, so demand is more than supply, you can say like this. So we have excess demand. When we have the excess demand, price will increase, obviously. When price increases, that means we are moving away, so price will further increase, so we are moving away from the initial point, so it is valuation unstable. What about the Marshallian thing? So in case of Marshall, as we know, we do the quantity adjustments. So let us say by some reason we are at Q1, at OQ1. Here you can see supply is supply price is greater than the demand price. When supply price is greater than the demand price, firms will cut down their production. Okay, so quantity supplied will decrease, and similarly quantity demanded will also decrease. You can think of why we are saying quantity demanded will also decrease, because there is positive relationship between quantity demanded at price. You can think like in case of Griffin goods, we have the upward sloping demand function. Okay, no problem. So after the disturbance, we are again able to reach the initial position. So we say it is Marshallian stable when we have demand and supply both upwards and supply curve is steeper than the demand curve. Now let's take other cases. Okay, again in this case supply curve is flatter than the demand curve. So let's take the valuation case here. So at, let us say price increases to P1. So at OP1, here demand is less, supply is more. So we have excess supply. When we have excess supply, prices will decrease. So we will be moving back towards the initial position. So it is valuation stable. But what about the Marshallian case? Again, we do in case of Marshall the quantity adjustment is, let us say by some reason we are at OQ1. So at OQ1, supply price is less than demand price, or demand price is greater than supply price. When demand price is greater than supply price, firms will increase their production. When they increase their production, again prices will further increase. Okay, that means, sorry, when they will increase their production, that means quantity supplied will increase, that gives us quantity demanded will increase again. So we are moving further away from the initial equilibrium. So in case of Marshall, it is unstable. Now let's take another case when we have demand and supply both downwards. Okay, so we have downward sloping supply curve, downward sloping demand curve, both are downward sloping. And here we have again two cases, that is when supply curve is steeper than the demand curve and when supply curve is flatter than the demand curve. Let's take the case when supply curve is steeper than the demand curve. Let's take the valuation case. You know that in case of valuation we do the price adjustments. So at OP, let us say by some reason price increases from P0 to P1. Okay, at OP1 demand is less than supply, so we have excess supply. Whenever we have the excess supply, inventory increases, prices will decrease, firms will cut down their prices. Okay, so prices will decrease, that means quantity demanded and supply will again further decrease, and we will be able to restore the initial equilibrium. So it is valuation stable. What about the Marshallian? Okay, so again we do the quantity adjustments in case of the Marshallian. Let us say by some reason we are at OQ1. So at OQ1 you can see supply price is less than demand price. Okay, supply price is less than demand price. When supply price is, okay, so supply price is, or we can say demand price is greater than supply price. Okay, So what will happen? Firms will increase their production. They see that people are demanding more, but our price is less, so they will increase their production. So quantity supplied will increase, and we are moving away from the initial equilibrium. Okay, so the adjustment goes like this. So it is Marshallian unstable. Now let's take the condition when we have supply curve flatter than the demand curve. Let's take the valuation first. So in case of valuation, we do the price adjustments. Let us say price is OP1. At OP1, you can see we have supply is less than demand, so we have excess demand here. When we have excess demand, okay, price will increase. Okay, so price will increase. That means we are moving away from the initial equilibrium, so it is valuation unstable. But what about the Marshallian? When we have steeper demand curve than the supply curve, again let's do the quantity adjustments at OQ1. Okay, so supply price is greater than the demand price. Okay, when supply price is greater than demand price, firms will cut down their what we call production. Obviously their cost will decrease and prices will also decrease. So we are moving towards the initial equilibrium because quantity demanded and supply is decreasing in this case when we are out of equilibrium. So in this case, Marshallian thing, when demand is steeper than supply, we are able to reach initial equilibrium. So this is Marshallian stable equilibrium. Now what about the last two cases are when we have the opposite of the normal conditions, when we have the downward sloping supply curve and upward sloping demand curve. Let's take the what we call the valuation case first. Let us say by some reason we are at this point OP1. Okay, initially we are at P0, Q0 is the initial equilibrium. By some reason price increases to P1. When price increases to P1, you can see supply is less than demand. Okay, when supply is less than demand, we have excess demand here. When we have excess demand, prices will further increase. Okay, so we are moving away from the initial equilibrium, so it is unstable in case of valuation. What about the Marshallian case? Again, in case of what we call the Marshallian thing, we do the quantity adjustments. So at OQ1, supply price is less than demand price. When supply price is less than demand price, quantity will increase. Firms will increase their production, so we will be moving away from the initial equilibrium. So it is Marshallian unstable. I hope I make myself clear in this video and you find out this video helpful. Thank you.